Some Balanced Vibrations family, and welcome to another edition of 7 Raw. Definitely bringing in a new format so we can keep it going. And I actually did a couple previous recordings, and they were on the go, and we love that style. We're going to see more of that. But I really wanted to, especially after last message, center into something specific that will set the pace for where we're going with this next. And I was looking for that format, and then finally something came to me today, and I was like, boom, let's turn it on. So I have been up since, I don't know, like 3 or whatever. And so probably if I go take a look at myself, I'll probably try to go take a shower or do a bunch of other stuff besides do this video. So I was like, get it done. This is the real deal. Let's get it to them. So what you're looking at is I wanted to explain something really briefly to everyone. Just in relation to power, just like when they say, hey, everything is energy. Well, the actual use in the conduction and the guidance of that energy is power. And that's what you're dealing with in the world. So I have a collaborative interview coming up with my brother Isaac, who's going to put together not only some literary content, but also he's going to take an interview that we're going to be doing in the next 48 hours in relation to what I call the good God, or just to introduce to everyone very clearly the concept of the idea of a God as an actual act of supremacy. And this is just some of the imagery that we're talking about that's going to be expounded upon in that post. And the reason why we want to do this is we really want humanity to get into a maximum realization of just how important their power truly is. And if it's not important to you, and this is why you got to discover your uniqueness, because if your power is not important to you, still don't believe it's not important to someone else. And just as you see, even with BTU, like they talk about even on the Matrix, that being a battery, a BTU, a British thermal unit, and just understanding that each human body does push out BTU. But even deeper, just take a look here very briefly to what I'm showing on the screen. This is something that I was attempting to make people aware of about a decade ago in relation to Scion, which one of their mainframes is in fact the Sony mainframe, and it's just the advancedness of the technology in order to be able to project a morphogenic field or field around all the inhabitants of a crystalline-based synthetic reality. What am I talking about? What I'm talking about is that the geometry that surrounds much of the structures that we see in the reality that are crystalline actually do appear straight, like what we would see here. That again, what we would see in Merkaba mysticism. This is what people would call magic, because it can do things that others would just be perplexed by if they don't know these laws, right? So when someone cracks into someone else's version of that, or what I mean by this is that when someone comes forth and says, oh yeah, these laws are ours, we created these laws, these laws are not created. They are not discovered. They are actually, they're known. Like it's just, it is. We didn't discover numbers. They've always been here. So because of that, it does belong to everyone. But when someone takes it and says it's mine, that creates an act of supremacy. Now we have quite a few different inhabitants, or aliens, if you may, foreigners on the planet that have taken the core knowledge that you see embedded within this planetary system and have used it in their own favor and have said, hey, it's now new. Here's a new system. So even right now, there's a massive event that's about to take place on May the 19th, actually November the 16th. And it's just wow, because when I just tune in and, I really get in there with higher self and collective, the conversation just culminates into here's what you need to know right now. Here's exactly, because when you know everything, something has to come up on the HUD every day that is specific to what everyone needs and what's going on. That's what I've made myself available for. And I realize some people really do count on me for that. So I make sure that I deliver. And this is just about, again, realizing that this is all about power and energy. They are selling you power and energy every day. If I have 200,000 barrels of oil in the ground, that is worth money regardless. And also the energy that is worth, I roll with every single day. And there are many things that attempt to do negotiations and brokering and deals with me for that energy. And that's just on the physical level. That's just, one of the gas, that's a gas, right? That we're dealing with. But when we start talking about kilojoules, when we start talking about the energy within the body, all these different forms of units, the kelvins, the frequencies, the hertz, the ohms, the amperes, the moles, when we start thinking about all those different units, what we find is that there's different weights and measurements. And this is what I was saying about the uniqueness. Because what the uniqueness does is it lets you see that, hey, since there's weights and measurements to this, obviously, the energy that I'm pushing off is very unique. It's very specific. It's a certain blend. And if you could use that power for yourself and learn how to do proper transactions of power, you will be golden, beyond gold. Those are all just energies and standards. So we have more coming on this. This is a very, very strong topic because it actually reveals lots of the keys and the secrets to everything. And that's what we're all about. Wholeness and Balanced Vibrations. I'll be talking to you soon. Let's keep getting to this. I just want to do these short, sweet ones and also continuously let you know what's coming and stay just in tune with this. Where I'm coming back into the chat server. We set it up. It's doing amazing. People are linking and connecting. I'm personally working on the finalization of the incentivization process to get our people out of these cubes and into themselves. That's it. Out of the cube, into yourself. But in the new upcoming, all the new recordings, I'm going to be talking about what is that cube? Where does this geometry come from? What is it about? What is the synthetic world about? See, because to realize this, it's not about which one's good and which one's bad. In the crystalline field, the perfection of those angles refract light. And then there's a slight distortion, and that distortion creates density. It creates the objects that you're looking at around you that you're interacting with. So where we're going with AR or augmented reality and VR and changing perceptions, where we're going with that, the high creature already went to that level and beyond. So sitting inside of a psionic construct, it's always the same. Like they're saying, oh, it's new, and they're trying to organize it. Look at the geometry here. They're trying to organize it. The 7-pointed star, 5-pointed star. They use 7 and 22s. Look, they're in the original constants of psi derivatives. Let's look at it. What do we got? Psi is special names for 22. Okay, so 22. Psi is derived. Where's the 7 at? Psi units. Let me see, just really briefly. Psi derived excuse me, I went a page ahead. That's my derived units. So here, what do we got? You see the 7 here? 7 and 22. This is the Kabbalah. You see, so this is it's a new one. No, it's gradually being rolled out, but something that has been ancient and always available for humanity. We give it to you. It is you. Wholeness and Balanced Vibrations. Speak with you soon.
More autobiographical chapter can start up the rapture. And even though I walk in the narrow valley of death, all I see is green pastures. My swag is on 1.21 gigawatts, 10 trillion kilowatts. Hardcore thriller pop, Michael Jackson.